Would you believe they're still updating this game? I certainly didn't. And that's why the stream did not catch any of qualifying, but I'm here just in time for the start of round 3 here in the ARC Formula 1 Realistic Championship. It's the Monaco Grand Prix. And this qualifying order is just as much of a dramatic reveal to me as it is to the viewers. And, AJ's been disqualified from this session. That's a known. Now the stream is there. Get my things on screen. I don't have time to go over the full starting grid, but apparently Micah De Jong is on pole. I don't remember making a start prior to this in this season. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer P2, AJ Knickel is P3, and he's DSQ'd. Robert Kuchelniak is P4. Matthew Daly is P5. Abdurrahman Al-Hazmi is P6. Boryoshi P7. Jamie Knock P8. Not Craig. Andrew Davis P9. Luke Allen P10. Roman Furchi in P11 in our Red Bull. Matthew Stotts P12, and Julius Duku is starting last. Very mismatched starting grid, to say the least, because we have a Red Bull on 11th, the Ferraris are 3-5, and a McLaren is on pole like it's, you know, like it's 2007 or something. Because I can hear the pit lane still. The 5 red lights are lighting up there, and the Monaco Grand Prix is green. That is very far away. I can't see a darn thing. There we go. As they head into turn 1, a great racing line for Micah De Jong will put him at a slight advantage. I am just kidding. Jurgensmeyer will horsepower his way through into the race lead off lap 1. And it looks like not much else has changed besides that. Robert Kuchelniak is going for P3, heading towards the lowest hairpin. I think it's still called that. He's going to have to take the Ferrari round the outside, and he will succeed in this matter. It's a heroic overtake from the Haas on just the first lap of the GP, but I guess when else are we going to get a chance to get it done? We settle in for 39 laps of the Monaco Grand Prix. And even thought about a dive on De Jong in the McLaren, but thought better of that. We have our first yellow sector of the race. It is Julius Duku around. Matthew Stotts' AI is participating, but I don't think he actually is. As we've completed 1 lap out of the 39 on offer today. I think the driver the driver to watch might honestly be huge save from the Haas. I was like, did I just commentators curse him? Was I about to say he's a driver to watch, and then watch him drive into a wall? Nope, not exactly. He keeps the car in the right direction. He may only be in a Haas car, but I saw from Bahrain that this guy has some resident sleeper race pace. If it's not a Merc or a Ferrari, he's my guy to take the victory here at Monte Carlo. He might be the guy to take it anyway, even, you know, in spite of the Ferraris and the Mercedes. Speaking of Ferraris, AJ Knickel has quite a run heading towards Sandoval, and he manages to do one better. And he takes Robert around the outside of turn 1. These guys are trying their darndest to make it a show, to say the least. Jurgensmeyer is the, he's got a decent lead, almost a second and a half in hand. And he only really needs his second advantage to be out of DRS range. Not that DRS really does a whole lot here. You can usually maintain your position on the leaderboard so long as you don't make any critical errors. Monaco just kind of works that way. I hate to be the Debbie Downer in all of this, but ultimately speaking, overtakes at Monaco in this day and age are very rare. And, you know, even when they are attempted, half the time they result in somebody in the barrier. At least one car. Of course, can't help but notice the tire difference, which Jurgensmeyer is on the softer tires compared to De Jong. Well, I guess actually more so. Mikey De Jong is on the harder tires compared to all of the cars in the top 6. Which would probably go a little ways to explain why Jurgensmeyer is faster at this moment. Yeah, no, overtakes at Monaco, not very common. Successful overtakes at Monaco, don't be fooled by the two we've seen so far, they're even less common. Dooku has already collected a time penalty for his track limits. Monte Carlo, or Monaco, not Monte Carlo, or Monaco. That's what I was trying to say. Monaco, yeah, Monaco. Nope, it's not here. I don't know who that is. Monaco usually tends to turn into a battle of attrition. Who keeps their car clean, who avoids time penalties by botching the harbor chicane and the swimming pool section. And on rare occasion, that right-hander we just went through. It's basically a race of survival for most. As I apparently just missed Andrew Davis, overtaking Knock, heading through the easternmost corner of the circuit. I could also have just said Sector 2, I don't know why I had to overcomplicate things, but here we are. That's a bit of a wall bump, however, I don't think that's not really the kind of impact that'll give you damage. Not in this game, in real life it definitely would. Mikey had a really rough exit there heading towards the tunnel, but AJ is in no position to take advantage. He's almost in a position of barrier. He doesn't mind his car. And Furchi is around heading towards the hairpin. He has no downforce, so he's struggling to make even the hairpin. No, that's a poor exit for AJ, so not even a shred of hope of an overtake in this particular instance. Seems appropriate that minus this battle for second, the only other two cars near each other are Luke Allen and an AI. So it's not even a battle between players, it's a battle between Luke Allen and the video game. A battle which... no, that might damage the wing though. No, a battle which Julius Dooku and Roman Furchi are currently not winning. Oh, that also might damage your wing. And the ever-existent ultimatum when you do take a small amount of damage at Monaco is... controller battery is no more. Alright, that makes this more awkward to navigate the menus, because I have to have the controller in a very specific position to charge, or it will just not. And as I was saying, the ultimatum of Monte Carlo, as ever, is... you got minor damage. Is it enough to affect you? It probably isn't on paper. But that small amount of downforce may be the difference between taking the first corner at top speed or losing your front left tire at the first corner. So any amount of damage can be critical damage, however, you don't always want to fix it because you're going to lose most of your time on pit stops that you don't need to make, as Mikey De Jong is about to have to make one after this mishap heading through the swimming pool. And he was one of the few drivers who was hyping this race up, like he loves Monte Carlo, apparently. Monte Carlo don't love you, Mikey. Monte Carlo don't love nobody but the players at the casino. Or, more like the dealers at the casino. As AJ Knickel is now all over the diffuser of the Haas of Kochelniak. As he took avoiding action to not slam into Mikey De Jong's car. And Robert, who noticed that the McLaren was ghosting, just passed on through. So now Major has to repeat that motion. I remember there was a time where medium to soft, or soft to medium was the strategy. Now the softs are a death sentence, unless there's like a safety car with less than 10 to go. There's already blue flags for Roman Furchi, who somehow managed to be 40 seconds off the next car, and by my calculation about, well, probably about a minute and 15 off the leader, because that's how blue flags work. If you're a lap down, that means you're about the amount of time it takes to complete a lap behind. For those who aren't aware of how a race works, I don't know why you're here if you're not aware, but... as Furchi pulls off at the harbor chicane. I think it's like the Nouvelle, I think. But I usually just call it the harbor chicane because it's a chicane in the harbor. Great. Impeccable logic, Riker. The harbor chicane is a chicane in a harbor. You don't say! Another battle that's materializing is Mikey De Jong is about to have to recover his way through the field. And his first target is Luke Allen, who does not have very much pace. And this is costing Mikey boatloads of time. I almost feel like Luke wanted to pit there. It kind of looked like he was turning right, but he just couldn't because Deshaun got to his right. Ugh, English. Now there's the classic Riker-ism, as they've been called. In other words, when the person who's meant to be talking through the race fails to talk appropriately. It's just like the most dramatic. It's the most literal form of you have one job. My one job is to talk, and yet I fail that job on a minimalistic level pretty often. I think Jurgens may have made an error recently, as I can't help but notice that these two are now very close to him. Speaking of close, Al-Hazmi is very close to Matthew Daly in the Ferrari. Of course, you know, being close is one thing here in Monte Carlo, actually passing is something else. Probably really didn't need me to tell you that, but here we are. You didn't need me to tell you that, and I probably already said it at least once, and will probably proceed to say it at least 2 or 3 more times. What is this yellow? I think that was just Virtue getting out of the way, I just assume. I'm coughing. Call me a vampire because I'm coughing. Just try myself out. With a slide to send a bot for the Ferrari driver. Bit of a slide for the Haas driver. Everyone's just doing a little bit of Formula Drift, you know? Like the worst track to be out of control, Monte Carlo. Yeah, just like you do, you know? I mean, you don't drift in Monte Carlo? What's wrong with you? Oh! I caught the wider rear tire on the little wall and exit, and AJ probably needs a new pair of trousers after that, but he, I don't think he's sustained any damage from that. Wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. Was it yellow? I'm lost. Oh, I was like zoned out there. I didn't even notice that AJ Kaneko had like run on Robert, but He can't take it anywhere, now he's got a battery. I was about to say DRS. No. You couldn't be any more in that. He's just all over Kochoniak's diffuser. He's gonna sneak to the outside of Casino Square? Or is this Mirabeau? I don't remember. I know the names of almost every corner on the track, but I don't necessarily remember which one is which all the time. I know Sandelat's turn 1, and then it's like Matinee, Mirabeau, Casino, Lois, and then I don't know those two right-handers, Tunnel, Nouvelle Chicane, Tobec, Swimming Pool, Loras Cass, final corner I don't know the name of. But I often get Mirabeau, Matinee, and Casino Square confused. Got a bit of close quarters combat now. Things are starting to really get a bumper, like wing to wing here. I'm genuinely in shock that we are almost at the halfway mark of the GP and we have no DNFs. After we've only had 2 people pit for damage. That's a penalty. That is not damage. Obviously. Now, AJ Nickel now has a penalty. I believe these 2 are scheduled stops because it seems like it'd be about that time. Never mind, I had to speak. Is that on the track? Yeah, it is. No, it isn't. That's in the pit lane. I'm absolutely dumb. Well, we have a retirement, but it's not going to actually affect the race in any meaningful long-term way. Yeah, this is about the time where you'd want to pit off the mediums. Not because they'd be dying, necessarily. I mean, they're probably not great. But just because you don't want to really spend more time on the softer tires than the harder ones, because then you're just wasting the lifespan of the harder ones. My word? That's a unique line through there. I've tried that before. And Jurgensmeyer enters the pit lane, giving AJ Nickel free DRS and clean air for the first time in the GP for him. And heaven knows clean air at Monaco is worth its weight in gold, so... Yes, there's irony in that. That's the idea. There's no weight in air. Robert has jumped over Jurgensmeyer in the pit lane. He has undercut the Mercedes. And he better make good his escape plan while Jurgensmeyer is heating up his tires. And mind you, he will have a while to do that since, you know, they're hard tires. At Monaco, where the average cornering speed is less than the speed limit in some cities. It seems like he's doing precisely that. He is He's making his escape. He's out of DRS range here. Unless Jurgensmeyer pulls something out of the hat, I think he might have just found himself out of contention. Wish I was joking, but that is about this dire. There is a red... A what? It's just Dooku getting out of the way. I thought there was like a crash, and the advantage that AJ wouldn't have would now be... Huh? I don't know where the hell I was going with that. No, AJ would get the advantage if there was a safety car, because he'd be able to pit for free. My brain just literally shut off right there. And he pits right at the halfway mark. He puts it in neutral. And we have, I believe that's just Dooku again. Probably, as he's getting lapped by cars. He also apparently either has missed that turn or has damage. Either one. It's possible. Oh yeah, he has damage. I think I just saw a glimpse of that there. He's got no wing. So with that, Matthew Daly will lead the Grand Prix for the time being on pit cycles, as the leading driver running the hard tires. Al Hazmi is behind him, just a little bit over a second behind. So he's kind of relevant. And Knickel has been jumped by both. Well, actually, no. He was already in third in this train. It was just that Robert has jumped Jurgensmeyer. That's just Aston Martin again. I won't be fooled this time, darn it. That was scary. I think we're about to watch Jurgensmeyer just understeer into that wall, but I think he jammed down the gears hard enough to just basically yell at the car to turn in. The top five are all just over a second separated from one another. Alright, or Jurgensmeyer likes to make a liar out of me. He's got 3 comments at once. Huh? Well, the chat on the YouTube stream is not showing them. Okay, so apparently just every message that our one commenter sent earlier just duplicated itself like 20 minutes later. That makes perfect sense, YouTube. As Daly enters the pits, giving Abdurrahman the current lead. De Jong has clawed his way back to 5th place in all of the madness. However, he's probably going to have to pit in again because I don't think those mediums are doing another 17, 18 laps when they've already got 13 on them. He's going to be putting on some softs at the very end, I think. Now, if a safety car does come out, which I'm still shocked there hasn't been one, especially as Julius Dooku apparently DNF'd while I was attempting to look at the very bugged out comments. Oh, Jurg has run, and Kochoniak has sort of turned across him there. AJ also did that. He's gonna let Jurgensmeyer go. I mean, I guess he probably had to do that because he didn't know what the heck was going on in front of him. I don't really know if it's truth, but at least from what I saw on the one view, it kind of looked like, I don't know. It's hard to say that that's anything more than a racing incident there between Kochelniak and Jurgensmeyer. Because, I mean, come on, you're trying to pass at the Nouvelle Chicane. Kniggle gets to the outside of the Merc, and even without ERS, takes second place away. De Jong claws ever nearer to the lead 3. And Kochelniak he has created some space following that incident. I do kind of think that he sort of turned across Jurgensmeyer just a tiny bit. He kind of turned in like he wasn't there when he was alongside before the breaking point, to my recollection. Billy Targi is critiquing what we just saw a previous lap ago. Team owner of the Alpine team giving his opinion on an incident that involves neither of his drivers. Of course, what I say now in the stream may not be accurate. Chances are later I'll probably look at the incident, see what really happened, and actually give an opinion, but from what it looked like to me, it looked like Robert turned in on him. Billy did not specify who the bonehead was, so I'm not really sure who he thinks was at fault. And in goes Mikey, and he's coming out. I'm surprised I guess he probably couldn't go much further, but it's another new set of mediums, and he'll be demoted back to P6. .22 seconds off the leader. I think on paper he might almost be able to make that time up with a fresh set of tires. The problem is, in order to do so, you'd have to get around multiple other cars. One's his teammate, could theoretically let him go, but the other is not. And the other is the teammate of one of the drivers in the battle for the win, who would probably not give up this position very easily. Jurgensmeyer has fallen off the back of these two, as it looks like he's trying to nurse his fuel tank. He underfueled the car, probably anticipating a safety car, which, at this point, it seems like it's just not going to happen. We're over 2/3 of the way through the race. Both the DNFs that have taken place in the event were just people retiring in the pit lane. So, you know... The data shows that people aren't really wrecking in this race like you'd normally expect to see from an online Monaco Grand Prix. Only a select few are really having a difficult day at the office. As there will be more lapped cars. That was so confusing to look at. I just saw like tires and nothing else. And that's them looking lap out. Why do I commentate? Lapping Luke Allen, and now they must lap the AI Matthew Stotts. So for the record, he won't score any points because he's not actually driving that car. So everybody that's running at this moment will get a point or more. As the McLarens are banging out hot laps. Guys, qualifying was about 27.5 laps ago. I'm not sure if you're aware. We're a little bit past that. Of course, Jurgensmeyer really doesn't have to do much of anything because both of his opponents at the moment have time penalties. All he really has to do is stay within 3 seconds of them, and he wins the Grand Prix. Well, provisionally. AJ, assuming that things don't get taken off, which they probably will, because they kind of... Well, the 5-second enemy might get removed. I don't know about the 3, because the 3 happened in the middle of just driving normally. I'm thinking the 5-second will be removed. Not that it would change much anyway. He might remove himself from the Grand Prix the way that that car is handling there. Hasmi is all over that rear wing of that Ferrari. Might be looking at an overtake here with any luck. Never mind. A dummy's ascend that's forced Matthew to give way to a pass that's not happening. No overtake opportunity here. Can now Hasmi pull something off here? No, I think Matthew Daly got too good of a run out of that last turn. And now Abdurrahman's teammate has also entered the fray. Nickel could not be any closer to that Haas. He could literally reach out and touch it if he wanted. Oh, that was sketchy. Oh, that was a failure to communicate. Abdurrahman was trying to get out of the way for his teammate by braking on corner exit, and that just backed up Mikey even more and given Matthew Daly some breathing room. Critical miscommunication there at McLaren. And critical poor turn, or final turn from the Ferrari. Keeps Kochelniak ahead for the moment. I did say Jurgensmeyer's only requirement was, oh my god, huge save from Kochelniak, who just nearly got turned by AJ there. Well, that'll help him catch back up, him being Jurgensmeyer. He was almost out of range for a moment there, but now he's found himself back with, you know, safely in the 3-second realm. Now, if he runs out of fuel at, like, you know, the last 2 corners, he might be in deep doo-doo. Oh my god! For a second I thought that was him moving over to make a pass, but he instead he's been too eager on the throttle, and I think he may have some wing damage. What the hell? Well, okay. Ugh, no ERS. He's gonna send it anyway. He's gonna get turned into because he's wasn't alongside of the breaking point. That's like even worse than what Jerkensmeyer did, because at least he was alongside. Now AJ has big damage as he's been turned in on. And that is his race over. I mean, not literally. He's able to finish it, but like, he's not going to be competing for no wins after that. And just as our commenters said before, that was Kochoniak's turn. AJ wasn't even alongside at the breaking point. He sent it from 2 or so tenths behind. And I don't think Robert had any way of expecting that Knickel could have even been there. Oh, what the? Oh, lap cars. That'll place Knickel down in P6. Now that we've had a moment to process the recent events, yeah, now everything is very spread out. After that, Jerkensmeyer is still kind of hovering right around that 3 seconds range, and he's having to lift and coast to try and save enough fuel to cross the line at speed, which is only costing him more time in the short term. I hadn't even noticed, or did I notice that Al hasn't hit pit in? Knickel begs another time penalty. He's gonna obviously crunch the fastest lap time. Even though he's also achieved that same lap with a bunch of corner cuts. Just for, you know, just for curiosity, a 1:11.8, which probably would have been a decent lap to hit in qualifying for some drivers. And that's end of race pace on like a half-charged battery and a fresh set of tires. Now all that's really left is, all that really remains is monitor that gap between the leader and P2. because that basically decides this Monaco Grand Prix. Does Jürgens finish within 3 seconds of Kochoniak? Or are we going to have a freaking Haas win the Monaco Grand Prix here today? Currently, signs are pointing toward the latter. He's 3.5 seconds up. He's also not struggling on fuel. And obviously his tires are going to last the end of the race because they are hard tires. The safety car might change things around if one happens, but that's just going to make an absolute pandemonium. Nobody wants to see that, except for maybe Logan Cool. I don't think any driver on the grid right now wants to see a safety car. Uh-oh! Now's not the time to do that! The game just goes to this car for that? Does he have critical damage? Did he break his end plate off? He's going to contend with whatever damage he just obtained, if he did any. As Nickel has caught up to his teammate, who will, you know, just let him ahead. Better tires, better pace. Papa John's? I don't know. Can you tell we're getting to that point of the stream where Riker doesn't know what the heck to say? And I'm now trying to ad-lib by saying just random bullcrap. Because that's where we are, approximately. With 3 laps and change to go here at Monaco. Bars. Now Jürgensmeyer is within 3 seconds again for the moment. I'm beginning to think that the Haas does have damage from that slip-up. He said it was damage not worth pitting for. However, it's probably still slowing him down nonetheless. If it's even there at all. And I'm not just imagining things. Of course, the game's going to show me that camera where I can't look at the front of his car and determine if it has damage or not. That's where I miss GT7's 360-degree camera. That'd be really great to just spin the camera around, look at the front right wing, and figure out if it's all there. Can we get an inside camera in this turn? I don't think it's damaged. No, I don't think it is. So Jürgensmeyer has just picked up the pace again. Possibly not having to do as much fuel saving now, as it seems that fuel light has disappeared. That said, Kochoniak is also saving all of the ERS. Let's see his cornering speed into back here. Let's see if he is. No, he's got a competitive cornering speed, so he's not damaged. He actually took it faster than Jürgensmeyer did. Or at least tire apex speed, and yet Jürgensmeyer is still getting ever so slightly closer to the back of the Haas. Probably just a power difference, I suppose. It is a Mercedes at the end of the day compared to a Haas. With another warning. Or another penalty, I mean. How many does he have? That's not it. He has 9. Oh, because the game served as 5 seconds in the pit lane, didn't it? You know, unless Kochoniak really pushes this final lap. He has 6 seconds. One of those 3 seconds might be removed from Jürgensmeyer. He also may stand to get a penalty due to if the stewards find him at fault of the incident between him and the Haas. So really, this entire race right now on track is all Juergensmeyer. But the stewards will decide their fate at the end of the Grand Prix as to, you know, who was at fault. Did Kozelniak deserve that penalty he got from being forced off the track? Can you get a warning removed somehow? Will Juergensmeyer have enough fuel to reach the finish line? Because that's reared its ugly head. If he loses a second off of that, and that is obviously game over. Or heaven forbid he lose like 4. There's no even slight chance of an overtake, and we're still going to have a dramatic finish to the Grand Prix based off literally every outside factor that doesn't involve passing another vehicle. That's not the most Monte Carlo thing ever. I don't know what is. It's determined by pits. It's determined by fuel. It's determined by penalties. It's determined by the stewards. And it's determined by Schrodinger's penalty submission. But on track, at the very least, Robert Kozelniak will head through Ras Kass, tongue please, and he is going to win the realistic Monaco Grand Prix on the track. Juergensmeyer, after in-game penalties, will actually be the winner. And round of applause to Mikey de Jong as well, who manages P3 despite the fact that he had a spin midway through the Grand Prix. He managed to recover off of a 2-stop and grab P3. And, well, he had 10 drivers finish the race, so every person that's not Matthew Stotts on this leaderboard will be rewarded for their troubles with at least 1 point. I don't know, in my head, Kozelniak's the winner. Both because Juergensmeyer kind of seems like he's to blame for their incident at the Nouvelle Chicane here, but also simply because he won on track in a Haas. The game gave AJ Unleaded, or AJ Knickel, the driver of the day. He went down. Huh? That's a new one. I think he driver of the day. In my mind, that's either Kozelniak or De Jong. De Jong for his recovery, or Kozelniak for, you know, being a Haas. It really seems awkward to just pretend that he's won, like Juergensmeyer has won the Grand Prix. I mean, he has. As far as the game says here, he's won the GP. But it just, like, nobody else knows that for sure until the penalty calls are made, and that might be tomorrow or it might be Monday. It's just hard to know, but provisionally, Juergensmeyer is victorious. And that will conclude matters here from the ARC Realistic Formula 1 Championship. I heard at one point that China might be next, which is going to be interesting, but that also is basically going to be a happy birthday, Ferrari. And Red Bull. I mean, that's every track, actually. I don't know who I'm kidding. But if it is China, or if it isn't China, it doesn't matter. As this stream is over, goodbye.